That's been the problem with the office, is that the leadership has been violating the rules and acting like they are above the law. And you have to lead by example. And so I will lead by example. I will practice within the highest ethical standards.
That's Destiny Wells announcing her latest campaign for Attorney General just a year after she unsuccessfully ran for Secretary of State. She's been highly critical of incumbent AG Todd Rokita, who's faced a number of controversies in recent months. Rokita also this week announced that he was officially endorsing former President Trump in the GOP primary. Let's talk about it all now with our panel as we look ahead to the next election year and to next year's session. With us today, we have former state party chair for the Indiana Democrats, Robin Winston, 2016 vice chair for the Indiana Trump campaign, Tony Samuel, and two former state lawmakers, former Democratic State Rep Terry Austin and former Republican Representative Mike Murphy. So, Mike, let's talk about this race for AG. What did you make of Destiny Wells' announcement, and also Rokita this week announcing that he was officially endorsing the former president?
You know, I'm going to say I'm a Republican. I'll vote for a Republican who's ever nominated, but it's a tough choice for the people of Indiana to decide. I mean, Destiny Wells 2.0, I guess we'll call her. She has the right, God bless her, to run for any office as often as she wants. Pete Buttigieg did the same thing, has lost a couple times. Hogsett lost 5 out of 8 races, I think. So, you know, that's the way it happens in America.
Terry, how do you see this? As we mentioned, she lost to Diego Morales. Can she beat Todd Rokita?
Oh, I think there's a pathway for her, clearly. He's done himself no favors, either with the Supreme Court or some of his fellow bar associates, also with the public. But she's a decorated veteran. She's very well established in the practice of law. And I think she has definitely a pathway, and she ran a good campaign against Diego.
So as we look to 2024, Tony, it's not only this race for AG, of course, also this crowded Republican field for governor and this war of words between Mike Braun and Eric Doden. What do you make of all this?
Yeah, I kind of thought we might wait until January. That was naive on my part before the gloves came off, but they did here in the last week or so. Eric Doden threw the first punch, but you know, he's got a good issue, I think. Law enforcement was not happy with Mike Braun when he went against qualified immunity a couple of years ago, I think it was, and so that's going to be a campaign issue. The other 3 real candidates in the race, along with Doden and Braun, are also going to, I think, make it an issue. It's going to depend on how they want to spend their money, but it looks like, you know, attacking Braun on this issue is something that he's going to be vulnerable on.
Particularly with Braun perhaps kind of as the front runner in this race right now. Robin, what's your view on all this from across the aisle?
Well, first off, we're going to have a great candidate in Jennifer McCormick. She's out getting petitions now. Going to be way over the number needed to qualify for the ballot. These guys are in a circular firing squad, and they're going to continue to beat each other up all the way through May. I don't believe you patch that together by getting Donald Trump's endorsement. Yes, it helps you in the Republican primary, but then you have to turn your attention to the fall, where voters are going to be more middle of the road, trying to build consensus. I don't believe that necessarily helps.
Well, let's talk about the upcoming session as well at the State House. We mentioned the IEDC earlier. They're under a bit of scrutiny over this LEAP project and the water pipeline from Tippecanoe to Boone County. The county commissioners enacting a moratorium this past week. But Terry, it's certainly possible the General Assembly essentially could act to potentially undo that here in the coming weeks to keep this project moving forward.
Well, it's not unlike the General Assembly to take on home rule and basically put a state-level policy in place. They do that all the time. I think that they will probably slide that in a bill at some point.
You expect to see that. Mike, how do you see the situation? What else are you watching for this session?
I've been involved in water issues for a long time, going way back to when Arizona and California tried to steal the Great Lakes water, and I was part of at least a vote to form the Great Lakes Compact, which said all the Great Lakes states had to vote unanimously and never let any water out. And then we had the famous Burke-Servais attempt to take water out of the Monroe Reservoir. Mark Cruzan and then Mayor Peterson stopped it. Now they said it was their water, it was really owned by the federal government, but oh well. So water issues are big. They will decide which cities live and which cities die in the next 30 years. And I think, you know, we need to include the opinions of people who are having the water stolen from them. frankly.
Tony, there's a lot of talk about the things they're not likely to take up this session, from marijuana to gambling. A lot of talk about taxes, too, not necessarily for this year's session with the non-budget session. They're not going to handle it this year, but next year when there's a new governor in place, there's been a lot of talk about potentially repealing the personal income tax. Lieutenant Governor Crouch has proposed getting rid of the personal income tax altogether. Other candidates, though, don't want to go as far.
Yeah, I think it's a really good issue for her. She's out there explaining it. She'll follow that up with more government efficiency steps. So I think it's a winning issue for her there. What we're hearing mostly in the hallways, and we had Organization Day earlier this week, is that, don't expect much. It's normally a 10-week short session.
A less aggressive session.
Probably either 9 or 8 weeks. I think, for the most part, that's fine with everyone. Less aggressive. I think the leaders of the House and Senate agree on what they want to do and agree on what they're not going to want to do.
Yeah. Meantime, Robin, State House and Senate Democrats want to make issue-based initiatives easier to get on the ballot for voters. We saw what happened in Ohio with abortion rights and marijuana legalization. Republican leaders, though, don't seem inclined to do anything on marijuana right now. But Mike Braun did tell me this week he might be open to considering legalization for medicinal purposes if he's elected governor. Where do you see this conversation headed in the coming years?
Dan, this is all about a woman's right to choose. That is the issue that these guys
when it comes to ballot initiatives,
do not want on the ballot. Yeah. When it went on the ballot in Kentucky to take away their right, it lost in Kentucky, which was a precursor for Andy winning as governor. Went on the ballot in Ohio and lost in Ohio. The last thing they want here is a 24 race with that on the ballot. So that's why one of the speakers said you're never going to see it. That's why you're never going to see it. What I don't understand is people who supposedly believe in representative government, there's no better opportunity for that than to let people of the state decide by ballot. We do it on constitutional amendments. Why couldn't we do it on things that the citizens want?
All right, we got to leave it there. The panel will be back in a few minutes. Coming up next, Mike Pence, no longer a candidate for president, but he does have a new book that he wrote with his daughter. You'll hear what he's saying about that coming up right after the break.